Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to this channel. In today's video I will be showing you guys some Great League battles with the same team I have used yesterday, because for yesterday we had some really good matchups with other opponents, and I just wanted to show you guys that this team is really good for unlucky matchups. So please consider supporting this channel, and with that being said, let's get on with today's video. Alright guys, for the first round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a regular Raichu. So regular Raichu, it's not the Alolan form, so it's just a pure electric type Pokemon, meaning electric is super effective against water type Pokemon. So Azumarill was a water type Pokemon, so I decided to get an Ice Beam off, then swap out to Toxicroak. Since Toxicroak is fighting and poison type Pokemon, and he can also learn Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb is super effective against electric types, he would be one of the best counters against Raichu. But because of this, he decides to swap out to Granbull. So Granbull is an only pure fairy type Pokemon, meaning the best swap would be to Marowak. Marowak could easily farm him down without anything, but right here I would have to use a shield because Granbull can learn charge moves like Crunch or Play Rough, things like that would do a lot of damage. So I ended up farming him down, and I have a lot of leftover energy from that. So his final Pokemon is a Raichu, I think. So this is really good because I have a Bone Club ready, and Bone Club is a ground type move, and ground is super effective against electric. So this would probably faint him, I think, right here. Let's go. So his actually final Pokemon is Meganium. So he's a grass type Pokemon, and Marowak is a fire and ghost type. So my Bone Club would do not very effective damage, while my Shadow Ball would do neutral. And my Fire Spin fast move is a fire type move, which means fire is super effective against grass, and Marowak will take care of him easily. So I ended up taking the first win because of this. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, for the second round, my opponent's first Pokemon is once again a really good matchup, but his first Pokemon is a Victini. So Victini is a fire and psychic type Pokemon, but in this case he ended up going AFK, so this was kind of a free win for me. But if he didn't go AFK, I would still win the one-on-one over here, because water is super effective against fire types, but I ended up farming him down, which was not fair because he was AFK, so that didn't really count. But for his second Pokemon, it is a Snorlax, I think, or a normal type Pokemon, meaning ice type move would do neutral damage. So it ended up being a Zangoose. The Zangoose is not really a Pokemon you'll see, but I like how my opponent switched it up, so this was still an okay matchup. I think Zangoose can learn Grass Knot, so I ended up swapping out to my Toxicroak, since my Toxicroak's fast move is Counter, and Counter is a fighting type move, and since Zangoose is normal type, fighting would do super effective damage, so I ended up fainting him, and for his final Pokemon, it is Quillfish. This was also, again, a really good matchup because Mud Bomb is super effective against poison types, and Quillfish is actually a poison type, a poison and water type, meaning Mud Bomb would do super effective damage. So I ended up taking the second winner here. Good game to my opponent. For the third round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Castform. So I think his Castform is a normal type. Yeah, it's a normal type Castform. So this means both of us will do neutral damage against each other. Also, because his Castform has a ghost type move, as his fast move, which makes both of us do neutral damage. So I ended up getting my charge move here first, but he swapped out to Raichu. So the best swap would be to Toxic Cloak, since my Toxic Cloak could learn Mud Bomb. But the bad play is coming up soon and later in this clip, because I make a really bad play that makes me lose. This was a pretty straightforward win, but because of that bad play, I threw it. So one of the bad plays I did here was not shielding, because it ended up being Wild Charge. Wild Charge is an electric type Pokemon, is an electric type move which did neutral damage. So it ended up fainting me. But since it was another charge move, from the way that from how fast he got his charge move, it's either a Thunder Punch or a Wild Charge, and it ended up being a Wild Charge again. So good thing I shielded there. So for his for his second Pokemon, it ends up being Whiscash. Whiscash is ground and water type, and ground is neutral damage to them. So since he has a water type fast move, people are usually gonna run Mud Slap for their Whiscash as their fast move, because it takes faster to load up the charge moves, I think. So I ended up getting a charge move off that did so much damage. Then I swapped that to Azumarill to farm him down right here. But the mistake is about to come up. So I ended up farming him down. He was about to die, right? I think I think I ended up fainting him right here. So shielding here would be useless, because ground type moves would do neutral damage. Yep, it ended up being Mud Bomb, which did neutral damage. And Water Pulse is also a common charge move. But the mistake I did here was not shielding. I thought that I pressed the shield button, but I accidentally pressed not now instead of the shield. So that caused me to lose right here. And since his cast form has a ghost type move, as his fast move, he did super effective damage against Marowak, since Ghost is super effective against Ghost. But none of my moves would impact him hard. Like my Shadow Ball is not very effective damage against normal types, since Ghost is not very effective against normal. And my Bone Club did little to no damage. So if I shielded there, maybe it was winnable. But I ended up making that mistake that caused me the win. So yeah. And I couldn't even get my charge move right there. It is what it is. So my opponent ends up taking the third round win, and I end up losing right here. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, for the fourth round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Primeape. This is once again a really good matchup for us, because Primeape is a fighting type Pokemon, and Azumarill is a fairy type. Fighting is not very effective against fairy. But because of this, he ends up swapping out to Raichu. Raichu is an electric type Pokemon, and electric is super effective against water. That was a really good play. But since he swapped out to Raichu, I decided to swap out to Toxic Cloak, since my Toxic Cloak can learn Mud Bomb, and ground is super effective against electric types. So I think I end up going down here first, just because his Volt Switch as his fast move is stronger than counter, I guess. Since both of us did neutral damage, it just came to the damage of your fast move. So I ended up having Ice Beam ready for his Primeape, since he swapped out to Primeape once again. So he ends up shielding it right here, and he's left with no more shields. So this is really good for us. I wouldn't have to shield. I think I end up, yeah, I don't shield right here, because his Night Slash, his charge moves like Night Slash, Dynamic Punch, Cross Chop, things like that would do not very effective damage to Azumarill, since Fairy counters all of those. So I ended up getting an Ice Beam, almost fainting him. But that was actually good, because I ended up getting one extra shot for that charge move refresh. Like, just that small of a boost can get you a bonus. So for his final Pokemon, it ended up being Crustle. So I haven't seen Crustle for a long time. The last time I've seen people use him was in the Halloween Cup, but I guess it's still good in the Great League since he's using it. But I ended up taking him out since Water is super effective against rock types, and Crustle was a rock type, so good game for my opponent right there. Okay guys, for the 5th and final round, we once again get a really good matchup. But it's okay, because this goes to show that Azumarill is a really good starting type Pokemon. Since if people are using starting Pokemon like Hitmonchan or fighting type Pokemon in general, this goes to show that Azumarill would be a really good starter type Pokemon. So it's okay. But for the 5th round, my opponent's face Pokemon was Hariyama. So I didn't really have to shield there because it ended up being Dynamic Punch. For some reason, I thought that his Hariyama would have a Thunderbolt, but it ended up only being a Dynamic Punch that does not very effective damage, but it would be okay. So I ended up getting a really good shot here with my Ice Beam, it took out so much of his HP. So he's left with barely any, and I could basically bubble him down and get ahead on energy right here. So I'm like one bubble away from my Ice Beam right here. So his second Pokemon is a Marowak, which is again really good because Water is super effective against ground types, and Marowak is a ground type. But my Ice Beam is an ice type move, and Ice is also super effective against ground types. So I think, yeah. Oh, I got another one off. So this would do a lot of damage. Since he's left with no more shield, this would do so much. That was more than half of his HP. So he's left with barely any. So my Toxico could come in and farm him down. It's good thing I got that Ice Beam off because Marowak counters both my Marowak. Since he has a regular Marowak, not a Alolan, he would counter both my Marowak and my Toxicroak. But my opponent's final Pokemon is an Aerodactyl. This was a really good round because this is a really good thing because his final Pokemon is Aerodactyl. My Toxicroak does neutral damage with his counter. I think, but Mud Bomb does not very effective damage, but plenty. So my Toxicroak ends up taking him out, and I end up getting the 5th and final win of this video. So this will be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please consider showing your support by leaving a like, subscribing, and turning notifications on. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video.